In the opportunity to do a second movie, we wanted to make sure that we could kind of up the stakes, up the action, and up the scope of the movie.
I think we all agreed we wanted it to be more exciting, funnier, more thrilling, more mysterious than the first.
It's not, you know, tethered to London. They begin in London, but they go all over the place.
The story starts in London. It goes basically through the countryside very fast and to the coast, hops across the channel, winds us down to Paris, then from Paris to Germany, and from Germany to Switzerland.
There is a shorthand in the creative process, particularly when it came to number 2, because we pretty much had the same team. So, yeah, everyone, it was that much easier, number 2, than it was on the first one, because everyone knew what we were doing.
One of the things that worked, I think, very, very well on the last one was the recreation of Victorian London using a combination of real locations and visual effects to sort of create this world of London that one hadn't seen before. And we thought, wouldn't it be fun to do the same on a bigger scale, to do it in Europe, to show Paris in the 19th century, to show Strasbourg at that time, to get a sense of continental Europe in the same way that we've shown London, and give a sort of reality to the world that wasn't possible before you had the sort of sophisticated visual effects that we have now.
Quite seldom do you film where the story's set. So we do the usual thing, which is that when we're confronted with a location on the page, our designer, Sarah, comes up with imaginative ways of creating that. She has a fantastic ability to go to a location and see it differently.
Trying to kind of come at them with a fresh approach, you know, because we all know these locations, and, you know, it's the practicality. We have to shoot within London. And, you know, so it's kind of, as much as possible, looking upon them as a kind of blank canvas that you build upon them. You know, the Hampton Court Gardens is the Eiffel Tower. And the other reason why we're here is that we have King Henry VIII's kitchens, which is doubling for our Paris kitchens circa 19th century.
This is Wollaston Manor, owned by the Rothschild family and looked after by the National Trust. And this is standing in for our Hotel de Triomphe in Paris. And when we see it on the film, it's going to be 4 or 5 stories high, so adding some more stories and altering the outside. We got a slight head start here because obviously Wollaston Manor is completely based on French architecture. It's Frederick Rothschild who built it in the 1870s, was quite a Francophile, and he commissioned a French architect who designed and built it.
We have a French DP, of course, Philippe, who's appalled at our interpretation of France, but it's France when we have to do France in the UK. It has been virtually a different set every day, every other day. There's just been so many sets.
So where are we now? Do you know, I'm not quite sure where we are. I came in, well, we're certainly in a munitions factory. I think we're in England. I believe we're in London. I have no idea where we are in London. I got into a blacked-out car, and next thing I know, I'm here. 2, 1, and action.
Now, would you like to play this game?
We're in Hatfield House, which is one of the more famous royal houses around London. I believe Queen Elizabeth I was told she was going to be queen in one of the buildings out the back.
Might I trouble you?
Just to hear? For an inscription.
This room, yeah, this is Moriarty's humble library. We had to knock a third off the size yesterday because it was looking rather too impressive.
Wilton's Music Hall is a music hall. It was built in about the 1850s, 1858, I think, and closed pretty soon after. And then it kind of struggled on and got saved from the bulldozers in the 70s, and it's still now used as a performing arts space. It's such an incredible kind of starting point. You know, we put in all the balconies and the crystals and things, and because it is a music hall space, the idea of, you know, having the trapeze artists, and, you know, there would have been acrobats and things, but it's all slightly, it's a way of girls showing their legs and giving the guys a thrill, so.
Reichenbach Falls is the classic watershed moment, is the right word to use. It's where Conan Doyle originally killed off Sherlock Holmes. And he really did kill him off. And of course, there was such protest that eventually Conan Doyle felt obliged to bring Holmes back 3 years later.
And I kind of get chills thinking about it because there's I forget which book, the Memoirs of Sherlock Holmes. There's an old illustration of the way that Moriarty and really Holmes meet their demise, supposedly at Reichenbach Falls.
You look like you're on a fun there, right?
I think just as Doyle would have wanted it, there was this sense of the real kind of epic sweeping nature to how, why, and where things happen. And so it's a fitting kind of majestic and terrifying way for two foes to go at it, you know, and that precipice.